Claudio Pizarro is the current Bundesliga player with the most appearances. Going into matchday 8, Pizarro has 372 to his name. That's some record from the Peruvian, and his longevity has made him a fan favourite. But this Bundesliga star doesn't even come close to the players with the most appearances. He doesn't even make the top 10. Here are the men that do. Our number 10 is Uli Stein. With 512 Bundesliga appearances, Stein was a rock for Eintracht Frankfurt, Hamburg and Arminia Bielefeld. To call him colourful is a bit of an understatement. Never afraid to make a stir, Stein was sent off in the Super Cup for this foul on Jürgen Wegmann. There are of course trophies, the Bundesliga twice with Hamburg and also 2 DFB Cups, one of those with Eintracht Frankfurt. The great achievement was however the European Cup with HSV. Uli Stein, a goalkeeper whose antics kept Bundesliga fans enthralled and amazed. No trophies for our number 9, but Michael Atta-Lamek is still a legend to Bochum fans. During the 1970s and 80s, he was part of the unsinkable Bochum side. They just kept avoiding relegation year after year, thanks in no small part to this no-nonsense defender, who also chipped in with 38 goals. With 518 appearances in the Bundesliga, all with Bochum, he is the quintessential club hero. Willi Neuberger is at number 8, with a decent 512 Bundesliga games to his name between 1966 and 1986. His career saw him play for Borussia Dortmund, Wuppertal, Werder Bremen and Eintracht Frankfurt, and it was with Frankfurt that he won the DFB Cup twice. By his side, or at least watching, was wife Helga. She attended over 250 home games from Willi. Neuberger was considered an all-rounder, and this left-sided player was happy in defence or moving forward, and in those 520 games he notched up a very respectable 62 Bundesliga goals. Number 7 had to prove himself up against the toughest of oppositions. Eike Immel made his debut at 17 years old against Bayern Munich in 1978, and against the likes of Gerd Müller, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and Uli Hoeneß. He played a blinder and kept out the 1970s stars, and with the 1-0 Dortmund victory he became a new darling to Dortmund fans. He went on to make a total of 534 Bundesliga appearances in a career that saw him become German champion in 1992 with Stuttgart. He finished his career almost 20 years after it began at Manchester City. When you can do this when you're over 60 years old, you deserve to be considered a legend. That is certainly our number 6, Klaus Fischer. Famous for his outstanding goal-scoring technique, only Gerd Müller outshot Fischer in the Bundesliga's history. The Schalke 1860 Munich, Köln and Bochum star hit a massive 268 goals in his 535 Bundesliga matches. He will of course be remembered for these great goals, and as you can see, he's still got it. Number 5 is Miroslav Votava, who led Werder Bremen to Bundesliga glory in 1988. He might not be able to hold a candle to Fischer in the goal-scoring stakes, but with 546 games under his belt, Votava has another record to his name. He's the only player over 40 years of age to score in the Bundesliga. It came in 1996 against Stuttgart, and no surprise, it was his final goal. His long career started in 1976 with Borussia Dortmund before heading to Bremen via Atletico Madrid. He was also part of 2 Bundesliga winning teams at Werder, another worthy club legend. We break the 550 game mark with our number 4, Klaus Fichtel. Tanner to his friends, played 552 times for Schalke and Werder Bremen. Fichtel was a midfield general, and while his career didn't produce any Bundesliga titles, he too is considered a Schalke legend. He holds the record for the most appearances in the Bundesliga in a Schalke shirt, with 447. His career was almost 23 years long, and by the end of it, he literally hung up his boots. He deserved it. At number 3, we have one of the biggest characters the Bundesliga has ever seen, Oliver Kahn. The Titan, as he was known, was no stranger to titles, but speaking of strange, some of the things he did do as a player would probably have him scratching his own head these days. After all, he's now the level-headed TV pundit, don't you know? Often controversial, but also a genius. He pulled on the shirts of Karlsruhe and Bayern Munich a massive 557 times in the Bundesliga. In his career, he lifted the Meisterschale 8 times, not to mention the other titles this giant of the game has won. If we listed them all, we'd probably be here all day. We now come to another Hamburg hero. Like our man at number 10, Uli Stein, Manfred "Manny" Kaltz was also a member of Hamburg's illustrious teams of the 1970s and 80s. And if you make 581 appearances during a golden era, you can be rest assured that you've played a healthy part in it. Manny Kaltz certainly can. But while Kaltz's career was full to bursting with success, he also put the ball into his own net 6 times, a record that he holds with current Mainz man Nikolai Noveski. The only man to break the 600 mark, 602 in fact, is Karl-Heinz Körbel. Everyone referred to him as Charlie, and this record-breaking player did so with just one club, Eintracht Frankfurt. His debut on the 14th of October 1972 pitted him against Gerd Müller and Bayern Munich. OK, Müller helped Bayern to win 2-1, but Charlie's career was long enough not to be dented by this experience. He won the UEFA Cup with Eintracht, as well as being part of a World Cup winning team with Germany in 1973. His career ended in 1991, having hit the back of the net 45 times. A man for the record books, Charlie Körbel.